Get Gaming.
Hello, welcome to the D-Pod, your directional podcast brought to you by Get Gaming. This is episode number 5, recorded on the 1st of March, 2016. I'm sorry we were a little late this week. We had a busy schedule, but we're going to make up for it with an extra special episode filled with pizzazz and extra vigor and extra energy. And bringing the energy is Julie Elmkvist Hansen.
Hello, guys!
See, there we go. That's a good start. And joining us with his deep and amazing radio voice right there, Johnnie Rogers.
Hey. Hi, guys.
See, he just demonstrated it. That's exactly what I meant.
And we put me on the spot now, and I was kind of like, hi.
And we have the one, the only, our very own Counter-Strike Global Offensive prodigy, Jeffrey Hoegee.
What's up, guys?
So, and of course, it's me, your favorite game aficionado, Homo Ludens, as they call it, your very own reviewer and perpetrator of very, very particular opinions, Dennis D. Voice Onderdijk. So, apart from that intro, what have you guys been playing this week? Not all at once. It's
Okay,
dead air.
start.
We can't have dead air. Come on, Julie. What have you been playing?
Well, okay. I'm really excited about this, actually, because I have this week been playing Overlord. And I don't know if you guys remember, but I talked about it when we talked about humor in gaming and like fun and stuff. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Overlord. And I started playing it again. And oh my, it has been several hours of so much fun.
It's so funny. I don't even know. It's the same reason Abe's Odyssey is funny. You don't know why. It just is. For some reason.
And it's like it's an action role-playing game for those of you who don't know out there. And you play this like evil overlord that's being, raised back alive. You have this group of minions who kind of look like tiny goblins or something. And you basically go around and create mayhem, and you have like this like master hench minion who's like, always telling you like go and kill sheeps and be evil and all this kind of stuff, and it's amazing. You should definitely try it out if you haven't yet. And
it's kind of old too, isn't it?
It's from like 2007. It's really old, but it's so
not
golden.
really old. Let's be honest here.
In PC gaming world, though, isn't it?
No, in PC. Hell, what was it? Fallout 3 is from the same year.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like 2007 is like so like long ago, but maybe
it kind of is. But it's just. It makes you kind of, well, not really nostalgic, but it kind of reminds you of how far we've come, actually.
Yeah, true. It definitely does.
So, go on. What else?
Yeah, okay. So other than that, I wasn't really planning on it, but I did take a trip back into World of Warcraft. And the reason behind this, is because my stepdad bought himself a new gaming computer and started playing World of Warcraft again.
Holy shit.
And was asking me for boosts. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna log on. Here's 50k and some bags and a mount and bye. Go have fun, destroy things, save the world.
Destroy things and save the world. It's kind of wow, that's kind of a juxtaposition right there.
Destroy the evil things.
And
save the good people. Yeah. Though he's playing Horde, so I don't really know how to do that. But
oh, you know damn well how to play Horde, you damn traitor. This girl actually left my very first WoW guild for the Horde. She said it was an excursion that she'd only be there for 2 weeks, but then our guild master kind of scared her away, and it took months for her to come back.
Well, to be honest, though, part of the guild started hanging out outside the Horde city and chanting that they wanted me back.
Yeah, they actually did.
Yeah,
I know.
Like, oh, you guys, I'll come back.
I know.
Yeah,
we actually
you were
planned
there, weren't you?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah,
we planned kind of an excursion. I made a character with 2 other people, and we started going on an excursion on the same server. And we saw you, and we were like, "I can come back to us." It was so funny, and that is it's one of the great memories I have of playing World of Warcraft. Actually, like that kind of shenanigan.
I think like my best memories of World of Warcraft as well is like community things, you know, like things that happen with people that you met, the guild, you know, stuff like that. And I think that's really like where I have my fondest moments from.
Remember the parties we used to have in the what was the inn again in God, what the hell?
In Stormwind?
No. The floating city. God, am I?
Dalaran.
Right there's an inn we always used to keep our birthday parties at.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that. I think I might have some old screenshots as well, actually.
I think I do as well. And the worst thing about it is that it starts out as a birthday party, but soon every single character is naked. And,
I know. I'm not really sure what happened with that, but, you know.
We're actually singing on TeamSpeak, that kind of thing. It felt really, really stupid. And it didn't really feel stupid at the time, but then you look back and you're like, oh, what was I thinking? But it is a good memory.
True.
Well, anyway, anything else than World of Warcraft? Because we don't talk about that.
Well, I haven't really played that much else this week, but
bullshit.
Well, today I bought Pokemon Yellow.
Yes.
Yes. And my first Nintendo Game Boy, like the original Game Boy, not with the colors or anything. And I got it when I was a kid, and I got it with the Pokemon Yellow version. And it was just so nostalgic to me that, like, last week when we were talking about these releases of Red, Blue, and Yellow, I was like, you know what? I need to get that.
Wow, somebody on this planet actually followed the D-Pod's advice.
Yes.
Same one of our own members, but hey, at least.
Listen to us. But yeah, so I bought it today when I got home from work, and I've been playing it a bit, and it's so nostalgic and it's so much fun. And I can't wait to use the Pokemon Bank to transfer it to like some of the Pokemon to my newer games and stuff like that, and also to see what the trading possibilities are like. So yeah, I'm really
there's
excited.
No online trading. It's kind of you can't expect too much, right? But online trading, even though it's not something that sounds really realistic or achievable, like fantasizing about it is nice. Like from what you see it with the Pokemon 20-year anniversary, that it's been all around. I see like Pokemon filling up my Twitter feed. I see all these videos of events of like hordes of people just chanting the Pokemon theme song, the one from the anime, and it's so. I think it's so cool. There's not a lot of franchises in this world that span generations like that, and I'm trying not to sound like a commercial here, but they bring so much people together.
I know. It's so much fun. But but we should save like some of the Pokemon stuff for like the end, like later in the show.
We have some more Pokemon stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
if you've been keeping an eye on the news, you probably already know this by now. If you don't, you're in for one hell of a surprise. Anything else you've been playing?
No, it's been slow this week, but I have put a lot of effort into Overlord. So yeah, that's it for me this week.
All right then. What about you, Johnny?
Mine is a pretty stagnant week. I kind of just play League, so I've been playing ranked
As
with.
always.
Yep,
What about Cardfight Vanguard? Didn't you play that?
The beta is over, so we'll be getting a
Oh.
message from the Bushiroad themselves and seeing whether or not we'll be going to a next stage of a beta, probably stage 4 or something. We'll see what happens. But that's probably mostly been my week, just playing a lot of ranked recently. So I've been getting into that again.
Okay. The climb. Where are you at right now?
Gold 4, 5 at the moment.
All right. Well, there's a long way to go, but you're halfway there?
1/3 only, unfortunately, 1/3.
All right. Well, if that's all, then we're gonna head straight back to Jeffrey.
Well, you already called it kinda in the intro. Counter-Strike Level Offensive. As I said last week, there's an operation ongoing, so I've been playing that a lot. Funny thing though, I was signing up on the Get Gaming forums and I checked out the player stats. And Counter-Strike was like 7th on the list, and the second I signed up, it was first on the list.
Like
terms
of
of
time
playtime.
played.
Yeah.
Wow.
My hours alone put it right at the top of the list.
Okay,
Oh,
curious.
yeah.
What was the other 7 then?
I think Rocket League is like number 1 or something.
No, Truck
Not
Simulator.
anymore.
Euro Truck Simulator probably is somewhere way high up there because a lot of people are very hardcore about it in this community for
I saw a lot of variety
whatever
streamers,
reason.
streaming it. Yeah.
In the Get Gaming community, there are like 3 people with Counter-Strike, mine being the highest hours, and then there are like
Well,
7 or 8
no shit.
members. 7 or 8 members that play heavily Truck Simulator. So, yeah, still pretty funny though. My hours
Alright.
alone can put something like game time on top of the list.
How's
I don't think that's gonna happen.
how's the competition going, or what you signed up for and stuff that you've been playing?
Oh, the ESCA season ladders. Yeah, it's going pretty good. We're 4th now, so we're trying to ramp it up to the 1st. And
How many
Like-
teams are
like-
taking part?
about 40. So it's a heavy competition.
Oh, it sounds cool though.
We so want to play a Valve official major. It's like the Spodek arena in Katowice, or just the Lanxess arena in Cologne. It's so insanely big.
What's the
and
cutoff for the event? Like what? How many people? Is it like it's a qualifier tournament, right? Qualify ladder.
The ladder is not the qualifier for the.
That's a
for the
shame
Valve
though.
major. Yeah, pretty much. We would really like to get a chance to qualify for a major, but we'll get there eventually. But I think there are like places for 500,000 people in the arena. So
No, I know. I've seen it. I've seen a lot of League of Legends events in Katowice, that kind of thing. It's huge.
it's really huge, and I would like to take the stand there one day.
Oh, not just take the stand. You got to take the trophy, man. You got to do it for the community.
Yeah, we gotta do it for the community.
Since
Alright.
we talked about
Ourselves, of
Pokemon before this, I feel like we're hyping Jeffrey up to be the new Ash Ketchum.
He's got to catch all the skins.
Yeah.
My-
We
my
believe
inf-
in you.
He's not throwing
My
Pokeballs. He's throwing flashbangs.
Yeah, pretty much. My inventory is worth about $5,000, so I'm getting there.
Do you have a
Yeah.
plan to sell, or are you just gonna keep them as them?
I'm just gonna
Mary.
keep them.
Okay.
He's gonna be the very best. No one ever was. I mean, Ketchum doesn't sell his Pokemon, does he?
Exactly. And just like Ash Ketchum, I pretty much got my Pokemons for free. In this case, Western.
Well, on the
What
other,
about
on the
you,
other hand, aren't you supposed to like be on a journey for like 20 years or something like that, or 18, I believe it is, 18 years, and still be like level fucking 20 or something like that?
CS:GO takes a lot of dedication and time to get really good
Apparently,
at it,
so
but-
does being a Pokemon master.
Yeah, but it certainly doesn't take 18 years. But I've been in the Counter-Strike scene since 1999, so it's close.
That's 17
Counter-Strike
years.
Counter-Strike
You're almost as bad as Ash Ketchum.
Yeah, you're even
Counter-Strike-
worse.
Counter-Strike 1.6 came out in 1999. I've been playing since the start. Then I moved to Source in 2005, and I moved to Counter-Strike Global Offensive in 2012. So,
At least Ask Ketchum has played in a major tournament.
screw you, Dennis.
You're
Too
like
mean.
Jeffrey's. You're like Jeffrey's. Oh, what's his name? Gary.
Gary? Oh yeah, kind of. Smell you later, Jeffrey.
The salt is really hard. There's a lot of salt right now.
All right, people. I think that I should open my weekly playbook and talk about what I've been playing. Because man, does the senpai have games for you?
I've seen some of what you've been up to on Facebook and Twitter, and I'm really excited to hear what you have to say about it. So go on.
I was planning to. No, I picked up a new game like earlier this week. Well, actually not the week before, but I have been playing it this week. And it's not something that I expected to be. It was kind of an impulse buy because I was at a game store, and I thought like, okay, holy shit! I played the demo for this game, and it was actually pretty good. It's only $20, new. Okay, I'm picking it up, and it's Steam World Heist on a 3DS. It's basically XCOM Lite. It's made by the same developers Fire Emblem. That I forget the name. But it's basically a grid-based strategy RPG. Well, not really an RPG actually. It's just a strategy battler. There's no RPG element to it, and everything. Your resource is basically Steam. And you use Steam to move. You use Steam to attack. It's very basic, but in its simplicity, it's a very fun game to play and to get a little lost in because it's kind of mindless. You don't have to think about tactics that much. It's not very it's just not very complex. So it's easy to pick up and it's very easy to put down as well. I mean, you can save like 3 times in a single level. You can save at a certain save point and you can just keep on rolling through. Apart from that, like there's one game I've picked up this week that I've been playing and that it's actually been hyped as well. It's Far Cry Primal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't expect to like get the game actually. I was kind of on the fence because I was like, okay, I liked Far Cry 3 for about 15 hours and then I kind of just fell off a little bit because it started to feel repetitive. Far Cry 4 I didn't play much further than the Easter egg ending at the beginning where you basically where Pagan Min just says like, okay, don't go anywhere and stay here and I'll be right back. And if you actually wait for about 8 minutes, then he comes back and he's like, oh man, I love a man who can follow orders. And like 30 seconds later, boom, credits. It's I won't yeah, there's a bit more detail to it, but I'm not going to get into detail about Far Cry 4. But that's basically all I played of it because I sold my PS3 before I got a chance to play the game. But now, Far Cry Primal, I saw it in the store, and another impulse buy. I saw it, and I remembered like these words echoed in my head, and I distinctly remember somebody saying, "You can ride a bear in this game. You can ride a bear." So I'm like,
and you were sold.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I'll pick it up. So I picked it up, and I was actually hanging out with a friend of mine, and we had such a good time that I forgot that I actually bought the game. So I got home, I'm like, holy shit, it's like a surprise for myself. So I put the game in. I didn't even have to patch for like hours. There was just I think it was 500 megabytes instead of the usual like 14 gigs you get on a day one patch. But anyway, I started the game and it feels really weird. It's kind of this weird. It's an uncanny valley, not really in a bad way, but it's kind of there's this gorge between the games we play like that are established, like the shooters, and there's also this other part of this canyon where there's an entire part of games we haven't, settings more like that we haven't really explored yet, and prehistorical settings is one of them. Or that's actually a very big part because I don't remember a lot of games doing the prehistorical thing right. And I played through it, and I'm like, this actually works very well for Far Cry. Like the environment is beautiful. There's lots of wild animals. Like in Far Cry 3, you kind of be okay. So this is a resort, like a resort island, and there's like wild bears and tigers and shit going around. And why aren't these all dead yet? Basically,
Yeah.
but here it actually makes sense. There's a lot of hunting to do. There's all these beasts you can tame. You start out with just a wolf. Basically, is the first enemy you'll realistically encounter that you can tame. Or no, I'm sorry. It's actually an owl, and this owl is pretty cool. Like you do have a map and you do have a mini map, but you don't have anything like binoculars. You can't really tag enemies from a distance unless you summon your owl. You whistle into your hands, and this owl flies over, and you can use him to tag enemies. Even do some kind of downward sweep attack. It's on cooldown, but takes out any kind of enemy basically. So you can do like a supercharged owl attack. It's pretty cool. But you can also use it to make selfies, and a lot of people have started doing this, where they pose somewhere on like a cliff, but it's purely first person. You can't like switch to a third person camera. So what they do is they take out the owl and they start making selfies with the owl. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so you tame a wolf at some point, and the wolf is pretty cute, and it kind of reminded me of D-Dog from Metal Gear Solid 5, and I thought it was kind of cute. But then I saw bears, and holy shit, what happened? I looked at my skill tree, oh my god, I can tame bears. So I like spent all my skill points, and I actually had to tame 5 wild animals, and that was kind of a hunt for it, basically. Because I had to tame 5 animals, and I get like a normal wolf, a white wolf, a dole, some kind of. I got a jaguar as well. I actually posted that on Facebook because it's just a big cat, basically. Just pet it and it goes meow. So cute. Anyway, got all these animals and finally managed to tame a bear. I posted a video of this as well, and it was kind of a shame that I didn't get to record my voice when I was doing it, because I was like, oh my god, it's a bear! You can like pet it. The thing is, you can tell your animals. You can if you hold your L2 button or your left trigger or whatever, you point at an enemy and you use your you press R1. You can send your animal to attack said beast or said whatever. You can make your animals hunt for you, or if there's a rival tribe, because there's a lot of cannibals in that game. If you see one of the rival tribes, you can just make your pet attack it, and the only thing you have to do is keep them alive by periodically feeding them meat, feeding or if you don't, they actually eat corpses. So
Ooh.
if they kill an enemy and they're wounded and you don't feed them for like a couple of seconds, they just start eating the body. So problem solved.
Kind of messed up though.
No, it's not kind of messed up. It's fucking prehistorical. These people are cavemen. You just killed a cannibal.
And it's a bear. It's not you that eat it.
It's a bear.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense. I'm okay with the eating part.
Yeah, so am I, by the way. I mean, bears got to get their food somewhere, right?
True.
But yeah, there's a couple of things that make this game very different from Far Cry, yet so similar. Like the setup of the game is exactly the same. It's so Far Cry. It's so Ubisoft. Like you go to these points and you can instead of having like the watchtowers or the towers, like the synchronized points in Assassin's Creed, or the radio towers in Far Cry, you now have these bonfires that you light, and you can fast travel there. You can spawn there, reveal some of the map even. It's totally Far Cry. But on the other hand, the weapon system is like entirely different. You have these bows, for instance. You gain the ability to craft certain weapons very early on in the story, and you do get upgrades for them later, but that's kind of besides the point. You have this bow, for instance, and you have to actually craft arrows, and you can't carry hundreds of bullets like you would with a gun. You actually have to you can carry, I think, a maximum of 32 arrows, and that's a big quiver. You start out with 8 arrows, and you actually have to craft them every single time or go retrieve them. Like
All
one
right.
of the same works with the weapons. Like every single weapon, clubs, spears could just be thrown. You start out the game with a spear, and I was like, okay, so I have a spear, and the game starts out in this sequence where you're hunting with your tribesmen, the Windjaw. You're hunting with them, and you see like a mammoth, and you guys haven't eaten for a while, and you have to hunt something now. So you start hunting this mammoth with like 4 people. And somebody hands me a spear. It's like Takar, you take kill, and sure. So what I do is like I take yeah, because your name is Takar, by the way. Should have mentioned that earlier. But I take the spear into my hand, and the game tells me like, okay, you had got to press L2, like hold L2 to aim, and then you can press R2 to actually throw the spear. So I'm like, okay. And I chuck the spear at the mammoth, hitting it square between the eyes, still not killing it though. And my tribesmen kept screaming at me, Takar, take kill, but the spear was too high up for me to retrieve, so I was just standing there for, I believe, 3 minutes until my tribesmen actually killed the mammoth for me. I had to wait until, yeah, because I didn't realize you could also just stab with the spear. I just thought you could throw it. I had no idea you could stab with it, so I just threw it like at his head, and then go like, okay, so I'm out of ammo now. What do I do?
Just stab their way.
Normally you have this kind of melee attack weapon, but Far Cry doesn't work like that. The only thing you have is a takedown button, and that doesn't really appear on the mammoth, because I hardly think you'd be able to snap a mammoth neck.
Yeah, true. No, I don't think you should try that.
Well, could, but I don't think you'd get very far.
No.
Besides tusks, you don't really want to get near those.
Yeah.
About those mammoths, though, sometimes the AI is kind of weird when it comes to your pets. For instance, I had this jaguar, right? And it was up until I got the bear. It was my favorite pet. And I had it out all the time. And I just be strolling, casually through Oros, as the continent or the country is called. And I'm just strolling casually, and all of a sudden, my cat goes apeshit. Like, he just starts attacking fucking everything. He starts attacking mammoths, which in turn kill him in like 2 blows. So I have to revive him, and as soon as I get close to the cat to revive him, I get knocked over and killed. So I think there's something a little off with the AI, but it is kind of, it's still a good game. I would very highly recommend it, especially if you're into very immersive games, because it is very immersive. There's also an option in the game to turn everything off in the heads-up display, so you have just the screen, and it could be an incredibly immersive experience. It's worth it.
Yeah.
So if you own a current gen console, or if you have a nice PC, you should totally look at it. And there's actually one more thing I've been playing, and I've actually been playing that the most of all, and I didn't see it coming. The day after I bought Far Cry Primal, I looked at my phone. No, actually, the same day. I was on my bed, like laying on my bed, just chilling out for a bit, and I looked on my phone, and I saw someone on the PS4 subreddit mentioning that, like, oh yeah, well, at least I can play Smite on my PS4. So I'm like, what? Smite on PS4? I thought that was an Xbox One exclusive. So turned out the alpha started. And Hi-Rez, the maker of Smite, is giving out alpha codes like everywhere. You see IGN handing out like 10,000 of them. You've got other outlets doing 5,000. Shame it's mostly NA codes though. So I had to dig around for an EU code somewhere, but I managed to find one. And man, I forgot how fun that game is, especially when you're able to play it sitting back on your bed or on your couch or whatever, and it just works so well with a controller.
I don't think I've ever played it. Like, what is it? Basically,
what is it? Well, it's a MOBA game. First and foremost, it's a MOBA game.
Yeah.
but only by definition, like not by actual gameplay, I guess, because the gameplay is third person, and that's what kind of sets it apart. Smite is a game that revolves around a battle of the gods. It's like the same rules as a MOBA game, but you play a third person action game, basically.
Okay.
You have your same minions, you have your last inning, you have buying your items, you have your 4 skills, 3 skills and an ultimate. Basically, you have a passive ability, and every game is a new game, but it feels so much more like an action game, and that's why it's so suited for a controller. And I think that's actually a very good idea of them to port it to consoles like that. And I'm very happy it came over to PS4 as well, instead of just Xbox One. Because what happens now is that you have this thing that Hi-Rez does. Is called the Ultimate God Pack, and I bought that on PC like a while ago. This Ultimate God Pack basically means that you get every single god in the game and everyone that's going to release ever, and you get it for like, I think it's 25, 30 euros, something like that. So you basically, with all the money I've spent on League of Legends champions and skins, I thought that was kind of affordable, so a while back I bought that, and turns out that Hi-Rez is actually speaking to Sony about trying to get this account merge thing going, where you merge your account with your PC account so you get all your purchases. They did this on Xbox One, and they're negotiating with Sony how to do it on PS4. So if they do that, then I will never touch it on PC again, but I do have something very nice to play with my friends on PS4, because I got a hold of a bunch of codes that I can just hand out. I've already been playing it with friends, and it's great to also have the integrated voice chat, and it just works so well, I guess. It works so well.
All right, that's cool.
Let's see. I have one more game I can remember playing, because I've played a lot more, but I've one that stood out was I've played some more of Metal Gear Solid 5. And I don't want to spoil anything here, because I believe there's still some people who haven't cleared it, and, well, you totally should, because it's a very good story. It's not a good Metal Gear story, but it's a very good story. But there's this one mission where you basically have to, very spoiler-free here, I'm trying to keep it almost politically correct. You have to get something back that's stolen from you, I guess? I can't say too much, but that mission is so incredibly fucking hard. I cannot believe how many times I've attempted to clear that mission. And normally in the Metal Gear games, well, at least in this one, you have this open-ended approach, and you can kind of decide where you're going. You can kind of decide how to approach a certain situation. However, in this mission, you're caught in some kind of ruined palace. You don't really have anywhere to go. You're surrounded by rocks, basically, so all you can do is like head on to a full battalion of a mechanized battalion. So all these tanks and artillery and holy shit, even a gunship at some point. So it's so freaking hard, and they see you like from across the field, which is like 400 meters away, and they just see you.
Yeah.
You do have a partner to take on the battle with, but it's not really that helpful. So you have to kind of wing it on your own. And I tried cheesing it because it's a very important story mission, but I just couldn't. Even when I keep just to myself and I keep behind a rock and I just pop my head out to use my binoculars and tag something for a bombardment strike, I just get, and I'm like, okay, at least they didn't see me, because how could they? And then at some point I do it again, and I get like one shot. There's one tank shot from a main cannon, just flies right into me and kills me in one single hit without me being able to react in any kind of way. And yeah, I've played so much of this game, and I consider myself good at it, but I cannot progress beyond this point. So I guess, and because that game permanently locks something away from you unless you clear that mission. People who've played the game and they know who I'm talking about or what I'm talking about, and it's such a shame that I can't play past this because it was kind of my favorite thing in the game that I lost because of this. So now I have no motivation to play that like at all.
Aw.
Anyway,
That's not
we've
fun.
been I
Yeah.
know, but we've been going on for way too long actually. Like, especially me, of course, because you guys don't ever play anything. Are you guys still here? Jeffrey,
Of course
Yes.
we
JJ.
are.
Well, I don't blame you for falling asleep on me on that one. And that's actually that's JJ rejoining us.
Yep.
No, I don't blame you for if you would fallen asleep during that, because I can get kind of long-winded.
No worries, man.
All right, I wanted to segue into my topic like right away because we just discussed Far Cry Primal, and it's a very good example. It's actually the inspiration for this topic is unexplored settings in video games, right?
Yeah.
I don't really know of anything with like a prehistoric setting. I don't recall any good games that are set in, for instance, what we talked about, ancient Egypt. That kind of thing. So I was wondering, are there like any settings you would really, really want games to explore more? And if yes, like what kind of game would you like to see it do?
Ooh.
That's a tough one.
I think like what you said, like with ancient Egypt would be like really awesome. And I think we branched into that a little bit when we talked about last week. Come on, guys.
Assassin's Creed. I think.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed, when we talked about Assassin's Creed and how amazing it would be if they did like ancient Egypt kind of theme. And I think that would be really cool. And personally, I think like that whole you know, the city of Atlantis kind of atmosphere.
I was
like,
just thinking about that.
Really?
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, seriously, like a
I
city
was
of
thinking more
Atlantis.
also Amazon or anything like that, or Amazonian
Yeah,
type of setting.
exactly. No,
Like kinda
I had the
Aztec,
same
maybe?
thing.
Yeah.
Like Atlantis would be cool, especially if you could approach it from kind of a BioShock perspective, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like underwater city, and it doesn't have to be post-apocalyptic. But I'm kind of envisioning the I don't know if anyone remembers this, but the Disney movie Atlantis.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That kind of thing. If they would make like a more mature kind of game in that setting with the tropes they use and the actual story elements they use, that could have been so much fun.
Definitely. That would be awesome.
I think I'm gonna side with Julie on this one. I think the style that Assassin's Creed usually, chooses, I think that would go very well with an ancient Egypt kind of thing.
But don't forget, they
Yeah.
kind of had it over just about any genre. It doesn't necessarily have to be about RPGs, just about any games, I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, the style of Assassin's Creed, like assassins and jumping all over the place, and just the overall style. I think that would really fit well with an ancient.
Yeah, because there's
Yeah.
lots of like scaffolding that assassins could climb on because of all the buildings that they did, and there's big towns, and yeah, it would most certainly work. And you would have like the desert basically to connect, to make it open world and connect you to the next couple of towns. It could very much work.
Before Ubisoft making this game in 2017.
No. Actually, we talked about this before, right? Kotaku, which has been a very reliable source when it comes to Assassin's Creed news, has already said like they're gonna take a break this year. They're not gonna release anything in the main line of games, and they also said the next one is gonna be in Egypt. And Kotaku has always been a very reliable source of Assassin's Creed news. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed here. I want to see this.
Yeah, definitely.
If that comes out, I'm actually going to buy my second Assassin's Creed title because I've skipped everything else after Assassin's Creed 2.
I own Black Flag, and I that's because I got it on 360 once with Games of Gold, It was pretty cool. I had to admit, I didn't expect to like it that much because I'm not really that much into pirates. But then when I saw it on PS4, it was like $20. I'm like, yeah, that sounds like good value.
Yeah.
Got it and never looked back. It's a very good game.
Yeah.
But now, I'm thinking there's a lot of settings that we could use for this. Like you see a lot of RPGs that go on in these fantasy worlds, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But why don't we use like historical themes for RPGs? I would love to see something like a Roman RPG.
Ancient
That
Greece.
would be cool. Yeah, like ancient Greece, Roman. Yeah.
That kind of thing. Like,
Most of the games are used for RTSs, though. Most of
Yeah,
those
I know.
settings are.
Exactly. So that's why the setting itself is used, but not in a certain, but just in that way. Like you also have these, like for instance, the ancient Japan, but that's almost always like some kind of hack and slash game.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
it's
if
not
you,
really open world.
No.
I
Not
do think that there's some there's always a certain exception. Like I don't think there's any setting that's never been explored yet, but what could we explore more? Like I know, for instance, I played this game once. It was a visual novel, actually. Fuck, I can't remember the name. It was this visual novel about a woman in Japan who got in touch with the samurai. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but it was very calm and there was not a lot of combat. It was very unusual because it was in feudal Japan.
Okay.
We have this rich history as a planet. We have so many places. Basically, we tend to turn to fantasy worlds and made up universes because those you can put your power fantasies in and you can craft your own kind of idea. But people often forget that we as humans have such a rich and developed history that could be great for creating games in.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a
I
possibility it might take too much manpower and research to be politically correct with all aspects of
Well, you don't have
those
to be
type of
like
games, I think.
100% accurate.
Mm.
But
No, but
accurate
like
enough
space.
to
Yeah.
portray realism, I
Yeah,
guess.
Yeah.
I guess that, but there's already a lot of games that use some kind of like real world element and delve into making it realistic, of course. So I don't think that's out of reach, and I don't think that takes too much manpower. And there's just so many things that we haven't explored yet, or not to the fullest extent. And I think we can do this as a gaming community. I mean, for those of you who've played Assassin's Creed Black Flag, the thing they do in there, like the kind of meta thing they propagate through the entire game, is that you are someone who has genetic memories, and you're researching those for a company who makes VR games based on actual history. Now that would be so fucking cool.
Yeah, definitely. I think I really liked JJ's idea at the start there, where he said like rainforest, like the Amazon with like the Aztec temples and all that kind of stuff. I
Holy
think
shit,
that would
yes.
be really cool.
How
Yeah, because
cool would it be?
we haven't done any like crystal skull type themes yet. We haven't done any, because those type of cities have disappeared from the face of the earth. Nobody knows
Yeah, so
how.
we don't. Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't really know too much about it, so we can't make an accurate representation. But
No, that could be part of the adventure, though. You don't necessarily
Yeah.
need to.
Well,
Yeah.
I do think one thing would be like a great idea. You remember those how the Aztecs and Mayans always played this game called Pits, which was kind of cross between basketball and football, but played with the hips and the elbows.
Hmm.
Well, how about a sports game like that, or a mini game, or something like that? It would be so cool.
That'd be a cool minigame in it, yeah.
Yeah, like some kind of mini game you can play in Assassin's Creed Maya or something like that. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be such a good theme. Holy crap, man.
Yeah, it would be. The thing is with Assassin's Creed, because it's historical by nature, that you can easily place it into different kinds of history and into different settings, like without really thinking about it too much. Like Assassin's Creed, any kind of ancient civilization sounds good.
Yeah. Assassin's Creed, Japan. Assassin's Creed, China.
See, well, they've actually already done China, so there you go.
Honestly, as someone who really enjoys martial arts, when you mentioned Japan, I would like actually kind of see, a Skyrim-esque game set in like ancient Japan where you can go full
Like
open world.
samurais?
Yeah, where you can
But
go
it depends
full
on which period, though.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean,
if you do it, for instance, during the Sengoku Jidai, the 100-year war, that
Oh,
would be
that could be
perfect
great.
because there's so many political things going on. You could have like entire factions, and you could influence the outcome of the 100-year war in Japan.
That would be cool, and you start out as a low level character, kind of. You can go
As a
visit all
peasant,
these
as a
kinds.
peasant.
Yeah, exactly, and you can visit all these kinds of dojos to learn new martial art styles, which are based on the real martial arts, and I think that would be really awesome.
Yeah, that does sound like a good idea, and it would be nice if you got to progress through the ranks of citizenship, where you go from being a normal, for instance, you could turn into a military person. You could turn into like a soldier and go in the Japanese Navy, or you could try and become a nobleman. That kind of thing. That's so cool. That it's so open to so much like imagination.
Exactly, and if you like had to travel through all these dojos, it would be also cool if they inserted the dance system where you had to work through all the kinds of different belts and stuff. That would just
Yeah.
add an extra dynamic to your skill set as a character.
Yeah, for instance, and it could be a nice kind of gauge to show where you are in quests or something, or what your standing with a certain faction is. You have, for instance, one faction that specializes in a certain form of karate, and you could advance through the dans, and as soon as you raise your Q or your dan, you get you get a higher standing in society. That would be kind of cool. I can
Yeah.
And the
totally
higher
see
you
that
go in
happening.
society and stuff like that, the more respected you become. So, like, older women, or depending on like people around the town, would start to notice you, recognize you through your war efforts or whatever that you have ever done. And
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
You go
Yeah.
from peasant to being exalted. I think that would be so awesome. If there is coming a game like that, I would buy it instantly.
Well, at some point, you have to remember that there is like kind of a Japan-like culture in the Elder Scrolls. It's the Red Guard, and the Red Guard, they haven't. I don't think they've released a game in the province of the Red Guard yet. So keep your eyes peeled. You never know.
Maybe that would be the next Elder Scrolls. Who knows?
I don't think so. Actually,
I don't
I
think so
really
either.
don't. But it would be good though. It would be very good.
Our
Yeah.
bodies are ready.
Well, I think we've actually exhausted my topic. It was a good one. I like people
Yeah, it was
giving
really
in
good.
their own ideas and like kind of spewing their imagination out there.
We
So,
just basically design a few new games.
well, it's kind of a shame that there's no position in the game industry for just an idea guy, because I have the wildest imagination. Well, anyway,
Yeah.
somebody take the baton from me.
Okay, I'll take it.
Wow.
Yeah, I am on it today.
I'm gonna take my baton.
Oh, that is so wrong. Okay, so what I was thinking about is how many gaming devices do we actually need? Because I was sitting around in my house earlier today, actually, and I had my computer on, and my Steam was open and all that kind of stuff. My TV was on, and my Xbox was on, and I was on the couch on my DS while I was on my phone on my WoW Armory app. And I was just like, what am I doing with my life? And then I started thinking, do we really need that many devices? Like is it common today? Like have we gotten to that point where like we have at least one console and a PC and everything else? Or are there people out there who like is it just me, or is it normal for people to just maybe have one PlayStation and not have a PC? Or do people who have PCs not have, consoles for TV?
Well, you have to
Well,
kind of keep in your mind that like PCs are not just gaming devices, so everybody has like
that's
some kind of
true. That's
computer now.
yeah.
But now, especially with the spread of smartphones and tablets, like now everyone has a gaming device in their pocket. Basically, everyone can play.
Yeah.
Everyone can play like the most basic kind of game, and every device that comes out these days is capable of running emulators and native games. But if you see, like, I don't think there's a lot of people who own just a console and no other kind of gaming platform. But the
do
other
you,
way around, yes, I think that
yeah.
happens a lot because there's a lot of people that think for various reasons that PC gaming is superior. Now, I don't want to start any console wars here because I love
No,
every
no.
console equally. I love every console equally except for Xbox. But
Love for everyone.
no, I've never been someone to discriminate on a certain brand. I always do have a very clear preference during a generation. That's for sure. But when it comes to, for instance, handheld gaming, I have a 3DS, I have a Vita, I have a DS, I have a PSP. I don't really care that much as long as it plays the games. And you have to kind of consider the fact that for instance, the 3DS doesn't get a lot of Japanese anime heavy games, the ones that I play on my Vita. Things like Danganronpa will never ever come out on the 3DS because it's way too graphic. Like
Yeah.
that you kind of have to keep that in mind. There's this certain, especially with portable gaming, because Nintendo is in the market there, and Nintendo being kind of the propagator of family friendly and not really kiddie games, but just something anyone can pick up and play and anyone could enjoy.
More or
Just
less E for everyone type of thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
of course there's
Yeah.
like adult games. I mean, hell, they released Binding of Isaac on a Nintendo platform. I would never see that coming. They also released something as seedy as Conception 2 on 3DS, which I think, power to them. The more games on a platform, the better. Like, there's no exception to this.
But going
Yeah.
back
The more
to
quality
the
games. The more
but
quality
go
games.
back to the topic, what Julie wanted to bring about. I guess it's kind of like since we are living in a 21st century, I guess we can go about like uh, luxury versus necessity. Um, we are so accustomed of having a certain type of luxury now that subconsciously or sort of in a way those things has become necessities to us because we live now in a first world country. It's um, in a first world society now that a lot of people, like for almost every household there's probably like three people that have a variety amount of consoles. So I guess it's dependent on the demand and the supply of suppliers that need them, and depends on like how what we deem necessary to have, not so much is it normal to have it in that
Yeah.
sense.
That's probably true. And I also think like what Dennis said about you have like phones, for example, like where every smartphone is capable basically of running games and doing
Mm.
all kinds of other stuff on it, whereas before basically like you could only text and ring, like it could only be used for one purpose, whereas now it can be used for several purposes, just like with PC. I mean, it's very common for every household to have a computer now,
Mhm.
whether it be a laptop or a stationary or whatever, but most households have a computer, and they don't just use it for checking their emails or writing on Microsoft Word. They
Everybody
use it.
plays solitaire. No,
Oh man,
no,
that's 1997 right there.
it
God.
means it sounds a little weird, but it's actually true. Like everybody has played solitaire once in their life, and
True.
maybe they didn't really understand how it worked, but everyone has this kind of stepping stone, and that's in the form of the PC that we kind of have to work with from a certain standpoint. Like these days, you kind of have to work with a PC. You have to have all your documents digitally, and you could do it on an iPad or you could do it on some kind of phone, but it just doesn't work the same way. There's a reason PCs have been around for so long, and that's the fact that they're kind of the staple for office work. There, but it's like as someone who has just typed a lot of documents. Like just in the last 2 days, I have typed so many pages of documents you would not fucking believe. It's hard for me to look at my PC now and go like, hey, this is a gaming device. It's kind of because I'm also in IT, so my PC is actually just not just a gaming device, but it's also a tool of my trade.
It's a way of life.
Yeah, it's something that I kind of have to have to be able to run tests and to be able to run virtual environments, that kind of thing. So for me, I'm kind of the PC thing is kind of not a non sequitur for me, but I do recognize what Julie said, like way at the beginning, where she said we have like all these devices on, we're playing games on all of them at once. Like a lot of the times, like my PS4 is on almost constantly, but I'm not almost constantly playing games. A lot of the time, my PS4 acts as my TV connection.
Yeah.
Because when I go to sleep, I put on my PS4 and I put Netflix on. When I go to, like a lot of the times, I want to browse the web or I want to watch YouTube videos or something like that. I don't want to get up from my bed and do it. I mean, I can lay in bed and watch porn on there if I want to. That kind of thing.
Jeff, you got any 2 cents you want to add, man?
Wow, it's a nice discussion, but I really have nothing to add. I mean, like everyone is at a point in their lives right now that just having multiple consoles is just a normal thing, even though it's a luxury and not a necessity. But everyone has it these days. I mean, I'm sitting now behind my computer while my PlayStation 3 is running while I'm not even using it. So. Yeah, no,
yeah, we are in like an always on society these days.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So,
like it's kind of
yeah, I mean,
we don't turn our phones off anymore. The only appliance I actually turn off these days is my PC. Ironically,
Yeah.
because it makes a lot of noise. But we don't turn our phones off. We don't turn our consoles off, especially now that every console has like a sleep or suspend mode.
Yeah.
Like my Vita is never off. Same thing for my 3DS. Everything's in sleep mode. Like everything is doing shit on the background. Like
But I guess
downloading patches.
I guess I'm one of those weird people that actually turn all of his shit off. Like nothing is ever on at my place. I'm totally unplugged. Like when I go to bed, everything is down. Everything is off.
Oh,
For instance, like do you turn your 3DS off?
Yep, off is off.
Why do you turn your 3DS off? Like well, I'm kind of reinforcing the point here, aren't I? No, seriously though. Things like I don't understand people who turn their some kinds of software like Street Pass, for instance, like the Nintendo DS, also having a pedometer and having the play coin system is obviously designed to be kept in your pocket even if you're not using it, but it can be kept in sleep mode. And that's why people carry it around the street, and if they have a moment of spare time, they'll play a couple of games on it, flip it open, and play some Animal Crossing. I don't know, but there are systems in place there to keep take advantage of keeping your system on. So you're saying that if you don't use it, you actually turn it off, and you never get any street passes or anything.
My walking coin thing is 300 now, which is the max at the moment.
I know, I hit it so often. It's
yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. There's oftentimes I require it's going to be a dark thing I'm probably going to be saying. Like I grew up in a not so prevalent environment where all these things that I currently have now that I worked for, that I earned with my own money, that I bought for myself, these luxuries, I don't see them as important as me. So there's often times where it's kind of like, I don't really need to have this on if I'm not using it. So saving battery power, saving energy, I just turn it off. I unplug. if I'm not using anything.
Yeah.
I know. Like, well, do you turn your smartphone off when you go to sleep?
Yeah, I totally. I don't want to
Really?
be bothered with anything.
Yeah. See, see, this is what I mean.
That surprised me the most.
The thing is, I grew up in a childhood where I didn't have one, so I never.
Yeah,
really...
but let's. Oh, wait a minute there, because that what you are now saying is we all grew up in a time without smartphones.
In a sense, be more specific. I never grew up with having a mobile device.
So you got it when you were an adult, basically.
Yeah, I got it maybe 2 years ago or something.
But the same thing goes for, like, for instance, I never grew up with luxuries either. I didn't have that kind of shit. We didn't have the money for it. Yeah, sure, I got a Game Boy, but I had to save up for like fucking years. And now that I'm older, now that I can afford my own shit, and now that I can, well, sort of afford, I guess, I'm able to pay for it, not afford it. All right. So I get, for instance, I get a 3DS, but how I don't know, I don't kind of understand how that plays into the fact that I have to turn it off before I go to sleep because I didn't grow up having one. I don't see that making sense.
It was more to the fact is like I do not. Look, I got it because I wanted to have it because I thought I wanted to have it. Where I got confused of having it as a necessity rather than seeing it as a luxury. Now that I see it as more of a luxury, it seems very trivial. So I wanted to make that as a correlation with how it is now compared to how it was then.
Okay, well, yeah. Now that you put it in like words like trivial and necessity, I do. I do kind of get what you're saying. Honestly, I don't think, because I'm a very technology-oriented person, I'm very technical, and I play a lot of games, and it's very important in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I always have my Vita on, and I always have my 3DS on, and even if I don't use them for like a week or two, I will make sure they are still at any point fully charged for if I do want to play them. So I do kind of get what you're saying. Like for instance, this happened to me last night. I was like, holy shit, both my Vita and my 3DS are empty. I should plug them both in. Just for me, for the on the off chance I do want to play something, even though I didn't even have time to play anything.
Okay.
So I do kind of get what you're saying. You do have a point, though. I think like turning your smartphone off, because damn, it's my alarm clock.
I have the same thing.
I went under my bed like 2 days ago to find a charger. Didn't find it, by the way, because I have like these storage boxes under my bed. And I actually fished out this my old actual alarm clock, and I'm like, holy shit, where would I even put this now? It's so big.
It's like ancient technology to you.
Yeah, it has a like weird digital clock display, and it has a radio on it, an actual FM radio, and not a digital one. No, one that actually uses a fucking antenna. I'm like, holy shit! I forgot all about that thing. But yeah, I think we discussed this topic enough as well. What about you, Jeffrey? You've been awfully silent. How about you? Do you turn your cell phone off where you go to sleep, or do you watch porn on it first? Let's hear it. Come on.
Pretty much watching porn for it first, then I never turn it off. I never turn anything off. My PC is on, my server is on. I can't even sleep with everything off. I need something on, and I need some background noise, otherwise I can't go to sleep.
Yeah, that's what I have Netflix for, though, or I would have had a TV for that. But I do know what you're saying. Like, I do need some background noise. I can't sleep in total silence.
Yeah, me neither. But I usually run. I have my own media server. It's kind of like my own personal Netflix, and I use the Plex app on my PS3 just so I can just stream shows from my server to my PS3. And I really need to put something on, otherwise I can't fall asleep ever. That's the point in my life where I'm in right now.
Oh, but on like speaking about old things or going into that, mind if I
like PS3s?
Sure.
And servers. Come on,
love
Jeffrey. It's 2016. We stream shit now.
Oh,
What's the time?
mind if I get this one?
Go ahead.
man.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Speaking about old things, like how we were discussing about like old phones and old radios and stuff. Like, how long should it take, like old franchises or like long bygone franchises to reboot?
I do like
Just
that
in-
segue though, like the way you segued into it. That was really smooth.
like taking like straight from Doom, like was out from since 1993. That's one of the last games that we saw from them. At that point, I mean, there's variations of like Wolfenstein and all that type of stuff. Not exactly the same.
Wait a second there. Are you saying Doom and Wolfenstein are the same game? Because you have triggered me, my kind sir. You
As
have
I said,
triggered
they're
me.
not particularly the same game, but they have a sort of the same platform. They're just not the same game.
Yeah, they're both shooters from the same era. I know what you mean, but I think especially Wolfenstein, for instance, has done a great job at timing their release because the New Order,
Hmm.
yeah, it was the New Order. I was thinking about the New Blood, but that's the expansion for the game. Was received very, very well. Because I think it's part because of the timing, part because the people that used to play that shit on their computers when they were younger are now at the age where they can buy games for themselves and like, holy shit, it's fucking Wolfenstein. I played this for hours as a kid. Let's get it. Like I think, like, well, it's not not a rule of thumb, but I think a very good rule to abide by is that a franchise should receive a reboot once per generation. I'm not talking about console generations. I'm talking about actual humans here. So and that way, parents can connect with their children about certain franchises. Like we, as adults, when we get our kids, if we even do, we never know. But when we reach that point, we will bond with our kids over Pokemon if it still exists by then. Pokemon is kind of a weird thing because that's been around for fucking ages, as we all know by now.
20 years.
That was the point. But it's not necessarily a reboot. But for instance, let's say I have a good one. There was this indie game a while ago that was called Legend of Grimrock. Legend of Grimrock. And I had I got this at some kind of humble bundle and I started playing and I'm like, this seems so familiar, but I can't place it. And then I started looking things up about the game, and it's basically, well, it's kind of a spiritual successor to the game Dungeon Master. And that was an old, I think it's a Commodore 64 game. I'm not sure what platform it was exactly. No, it's not Commodore 64. It's later, way later. But anyway, it was this old PC game, basically. And my dad used to play that. He had like fat guidebooks that he'd written for himself, where he'd seriously just sketch the maps. That kind of thing. And then when I talked to him about it and we started bonding about it, and he was like, oh yeah, I played Dungeon Master so much. I wish I could actually play that again. So being the geek I am, I'm like, okay, wait here. I'm going to do something for you and you'll wait. And I made him a USB drive with DOSBox on it so he could actually play Dungeon Master on his MacBook. He was so happy.
Aww.
But see, that's what I mean. Like one generation for a reboot is perfect because what happens is that you can bond with your children over it. Plus, there's a new generation that's never heard of the franchise before, or maybe it's like kind of where it comes to the point of getting kind of campy and kind of cliched.
Yeah, and you'll have a bigger target group as well because you'll have the nostalgia to the previous generation too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
and what I think is that if you have this what I said is like sometimes franchises take a long time to reboot, and at that point they start becoming kind of campy and kind of cliche, like Batman did. Like if someone from this generation will watch the '60s Batman show, they'd be like, "What the fuck?"
No, but the thing is, even for them, even for then, at that time, it was already deemed a campy show because Batman, as we knew, it was a pretty like dark dude. It was a pretty dark series in the first place. So even for then, it was pretty campy.
No, campy is like cliched, afgezaagd.
No,
Yeah.
I know.
Oh,
But that's what I mean,
It has nothing. It has nothing. Batman was supposed to be super serious, even when it came out in like the '60s. Even though it had like the things we now consider tropes, like the spinning sound effects, that kind of thing. And I think that they took a very, very good course in rebooting the series when they did. I just think they went a little bit overboard.
Yeah.
Born in the darkness.
Because they're rebooting it again. It's not been a goddamn generation yet, and they're rebooting it again.
I think it was needed because I didn't really. Mm-mm.
I never was a big Batman fan, so I shouldn't speak here. But I think it's a good franchise to use as an example.
Yeah.
Because there's a very clear distinction when it reboots.
Mm-hmm. But like, I was also considering like a few other games that I played way back when, like Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver, Tony
Oh
Hawk Pro
man,
Skater,
so that Pro
Tenchu
Skater
stuff.
it's never stopped. Technically,
No, but I mean, like for the past 7 or 8 years, we haven't really gotten a new one yet. So I mean, I think we're due for a new one. And
there is a new
Tenchu.
one out. One came out last year.
Oh, cool.
It was bad though. It like totally sucked. Was full of bugs and was
Oh,
not
okay.
what Tony Hawk was about. But no, there's been like HD remakes as well. But another one, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver.
Mhm.
Like if you think about
And
that
Tenchu?
is
Have you ever played Tenchu? Stealth Assassin?
no, I have not. But especially like Legacy of Kain is also a very good example. It would be right about now where the golden point for a reboot would be, because a lot of people our age are like, holy shit, we used to play that when we were kids, and our parents would be like, I picked that up when I was a little bit. I was, of course, parents are of course a little older, but they have played the games, and I think that now would be the perfect moment for it.
And
Like,
like, if
right
any of
now.
you guys ever played like FPS type games, Perfect Dark is also a pretty good one. On
Oh,
would be,
yeah.
it's static
Yeah.
to see again.
Perfect Dark was N64, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Next
see-
to GoldenEye, both of them was a high-selling FPS games.
Yeah, because there wasn't really any like FPS on the market back then. They hadn't really figured it out. Of course,
mean,
there
we
was.
got-
Sorry, I'm going on a tangent again.
As usual.
Oh, fuck off! Twerp. All right. Speaking about twerps, Jeffrey,
What's up?
what's your topic?
All right, my topic for this week is slightly less about gaming. It really does involve gaming, but
God damn it, Jeffrey! This is a gaming podcast. What are you doing?
Oh,
Get your head
Just-
in the game.
just listen. It does involve future titles, and it's about the severe drawback that Microsoft caused by only supporting DirectX 12 on Windows 10. And as we know, Microsoft is annoyingly and aggressively forcing updates to Windows 10, despite most consumers, such as myself, not wanting to upgrade. I want to hear your opinions about how Microsoft handled and approached this, and do you think DirectX 12 will be worth upgrading to Windows 10 for, just to play some games on DirectX 12, which will probably support DX 10 and 11 anyway, and the potential influence it might have on future titles that decide to go full DirectX 12?
Okay, first of all, I have a very strong opinion on this because I am myself and I'm in IT, so I work with Windows a lot. I'm even Microsoft certified. Just
Same here.
fucking upgrade. Just fucking upgrade already, man. It's just it's a new operating system. You're
It's a
you're
better
like
OS.
one of those grannies who won't get off XP. You're the
No, but
same
Jeffrey, in all
type.
honesty, upgrading your OS is actually better.
Yeah. The thing is, everybody's like, well, Windows 10. I didn't like Windows 8, and I didn't like Windows 7.5, so I won't upgrade to Windows 10. Get off my lawn, you dirty kid. No, but seriously though, Windows 10 is just, by this point, 7 is full of leaks. 7 is full of bad software. It's just plain old slow at this point too. Compared to, I'm not saying Windows 8 was great when it came out, but it got patched and it got better. But all these people who saw that release and like, okay, it's not perfect yet, so it fucking sucks because, hell, we're talking about Microsoft here, so it's very binary. It's either very good or very bad in the eyes of most people. 8.1 got a little better. They got the start button back instead of having to actually just click somewhere else on the screen. The start button was still there. But now in Windows 10, there's not even like the thing where people were complaining about the whole flat interface, the tile interface. There is no tile interface anymore. It's all just normal desktop now. It just looks a little better. Well, not necessarily better. I guess that's personal taste right there. But it runs better and it supports DirectX 12. Get with the times. You can't like if you were a console player, you wouldn't be going like, well, they're not supporting the Motion Joy engine on PS4, so I'm not buying a PS4. That kind of thing, you know. Motion Joy was, by the way, that was PS3 era. So you have to kind of translate this. It's not just in the PC market. You'd be one of the people who says, well, I want them to keep making games for my PS2 because I don't want to buy a PS4 yet, is basically what you're saying, but in PC speak.
Not exactly. I have Windows 10 on my laptop. I decided to give it a try, and I updated from 8.1 to 10, and it was horrible. There are a lot of processes that run in the background. It just causes up RAM. And you should
Name
know
one.
that. Well, I don't remember all the processes, but I had to disable a hell of a lot of
Name
useless.
one. Just one. Name one. One.
Something broker.exe.
You know what that is? That's a program that loads shit in and out of your operating system. That's supposed to fucking be there.
Actually not, because if you terminate it through Task Manager, it doesn't do anything to your operating system, and it doesn't.
Yeah, that's
influence
what
anything.
that's what you think. That's why your PC is running so goddamn badly. Is because you're
My
actually
PC runs fine.
No, your PC does not run fine. That's the complaint you're having. It's like it doesn't run right. So what you do is you fuck shit up by deleting processes that you should not. Well, stopping processes that you should not stop. So it makes it run even worse. By the way, welcome to the M Pod, your Microsoft podcast.
Well, can I just throw in my sense? Because like I'm not really that like, you know, decided on the whole thing, but I think that at one point I think that, well, if Windows 7 or 8 for that matter should be capable of running the new games, then I think that they should be able to run them, and I don't think that, you know, Microsoft should be that forceful. But at the same time, I do agree with Dennis that, like, you know what, it's new, it's an upgrade, it's free.
Yeah, that's one of the points as well.
So just, you know, take the goodie bag and be happy, kind of thing.
Oh,
you know?
that's kind of forcing as well. Like, take the goodie bag is not even the point I'm trying to make. I do see what you mean, but
it's a bit forceful. But at the same time, like, no one's forcing buy anything.
The thing is, it's not forceful, but people, for some reason, because they like Windows 7 when it came out, they think it's still a viable operating system when it is not anymore. There is just, you can't expect a company to keep giving support for their legacy products. Of course, there are some who do, and it's purely out of goodwill, but you have to realize that Microsoft, for instance, is a business. They can't keep supporting old shit because they have to keep up all these update servers that people don't even use, but they still have to keep them up for fucking nothing. Because people won't update their Windows 7 PCs anymore. They just install new ones and then they download the updates, and then they never have to because there are no new updates coming. Not just that, but there's all the security leaks. There's not any, like, big patches are not happening on it anymore. I've had this argument so many times with people, especially in my field, because there's always, if we have to do some kind of debate or some kind of opinional standpoint, then always the subject of should XP be a legacy operating system comes up. Of course it should fucking be. It's 2016. Same goes for Windows 7. It's what Windows 7 came out in what now?
2013, I think.
No,
it's older than that, isn't it?
it's way
Really?
older than
Yeah,
that.
like 2013
2013 is when.
Wasn't that like Vista?
No, that's Windows 8.
No.
Oh,
Windows
8,
Vista came out in like 2006.
Yeah, so no, yeah, and I think 7 came out at about 2007 or
Oh, okay. Yeah.
the 2009 maybe. But we're so far along the line that you can't expect them to also optimize things like, getting back to gaming here, DirectX 12. Like, imagine the cost what it would be to make it backwards compatible with all the old video cards, all the old graphic cards that don't work anymore. But they have to do all these Windows 7 drivers for customers that you can't even buy Windows 7 anymore. So they aren't getting new customers. So why the fuck would they do it? They're just supporting an install base that does not exist. At this point, I wish they'd pull the plug and just say, okay, it's Windows 10 or bust.
That would be forceful.
Well, yeah, but maybe some people need that force, like the twerp right over here and all the old people I've been dealing with. I might be projecting some of the issues I have with said old people that won't upgrade from Windows XP onto Jeffrey here, and I sincerely apologize for that, but he's a twerp anyway, so, you know.
You're forgetting I'm also an IT specialist and Microsoft certified, so...
You're not an IT specialist, you're a med student. You can't combine... you can't doctor computers.
Well, I haven't actually kept up after Windows 8 because...
Yeah, I can tell because you're still on Windows 7.
I'm on Windows 8.1.
Well, then why the hell would you not
so.
upgrade? Because Windows 10 is exactly Windows 8.1, just smoother. It works better, has better game support, and you, because you're such a hardcore PC gamer, it actually works better on older DirectX versions as well. So you actually get an FPS gain.
Not that much actually, because across the board between 7, 8, and 10, there is not much FPS gain, and Windows 8 still wins on FPS.
No, Windows 8.1 actually does, because they added some new DirectX thing. And Windows 10 is even buttery smoother. Plus, the multitasking is better. There's also just more modern features, basically. Like, I'm not advocating here I'm not advocating anything here, because I honestly am sick of this argument to a point where I want to shoot everybody who's just like, I want to stay on Windows 7. That kind of thing. Just, I'm so sick of this.
Get off my lawn.
No, it's not that. No, if anything, I'm a young person here. I'm the young person who says, just get with the times already, Grandpa. But
I like my Arrow software. What are you doing? No.
Oh, fuck, nobody liked Arrow. But especially with DirectX, it's just financially just not viable to keep supporting older kinds of operating systems, because DirectX is so incredibly complicated, right? It talks directly with the video card, and you have to make a DirectX file for every single hardware configuration out there, being a certain graphical card, right? So you have to do that for the ones that are included in Windows 7 laptops, or else you wouldn't be able to run it on there. So they'd have to do crazy backwards compatibility. Like, backwards compatibility is a good thing. I do say that, but on PCs, especially when a market moves this fast, when you buy a PC and 5 years later it's still good, but it's not cutting edge anymore, you can't expect to keep up by saying, I won't install a new operating system, and then still expect... You have to make a choice, right? You can stick with the old product and use the old product if you want, but you can't expect to keep using the old product and get the new products as well, being DirectX in this case.
Well, I still have the feeling that for a while at least that game developers will still at least support DirectX 11.
11 is still being supported, but you're talking about Windows 7 was DirectX 9.
No, I was saying that just to play some games on DirectX 12, which will probably support DX 10 and 11. I didn't say anything about 9 because 9 is just
No, but
goodbye.
I'm just giving I'm just giving kind of a like a reference here. I'm just saying that you like, of course, the last versions of DirectX will still be supported by the new ones, but you can't expect them to keep supporting the old ones. At some point, they're going to fall off, and because it's just not viable. But anyway, I think we've been going for like 1.5 hours, and we haven't even reached a break yet. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a break, and we're gonna let you guys think about what would you do with your Windows installation. Do you prefer
Don't
XP?
send us hate mail about that, by the way.
We have yet to receive a single email, so do send us hate mail. At least we have something to brag about. At least someone's noticed us. But yeah, do think about what you want to do with your operating system. Do you want to upgrade to Windows 10, or are you a happy user of Windows 8.1? If you are a happy Windows 10 user, do send me an email and thank me for being the gospel. And we'll see you on the other side of this break. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the D-Pod, your directional podcast. This episode has been going on for way too long already, so we're going to bang this one out quickly, and let's get right into the new releases. Jeffrey, take it away.
All right. As always, I will list all game releases in order of date and list their platforms independently. For today, actually, the 1st of March, we have Broforce for the PS4, Alec Hines Gun for the PS4, Mortal Kombat XL for the Xbox One and PS4, Return to Poplacroix, A Story of Seasons Fairy Tale for the 3DS, Screen Cheat for the Xbox One and PS4, Heavy Rain for the PS4, Metroid for the PS4, Ironcast for the PS4, Gunscape for the PS4, Corkslore Sigma for the Vita. I didn't pronounce that correctly, probably, but
I have no clue. I haven't heard about it, to be honest.
Square Heroes for the PS4, Pirate Solitaire for the Vita, and finally Royal Defense Invisible Threat for the Vita. And tomorrow and Wednesday we can expect Blast Blue Chrono Phantasma Extend for the PC, Chasing Dead for the Wii U and PC, and for me personally the most exciting release, despite not having a Wii U, The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess HD. And those were the games for this week.
All right.
Well, kind of makes you regret not buying a PS4, does it?
Yeah, sadly.
Broforce is actually the PS Plus game for next month, so don't buy it. It's going to be the PS Plus game because they did the poll thing, and it's going to release at the end. It's actually the beginning of the month, so yeah, it's going to be up tomorrow. So, just download it. If you have PS Plus, just download it, and you'll be fine. Anyway, let's actually head on to news. We don't have a lot of news articles this week. It's kind of been a slow week. The ones we do have are kind of cool. There's one I'd actually like to add before we start off, and I'll take this one myself because obviously only I know of it. It's actually a very short one. The PS4 firmware is going to be updated to the beta actually started for firmware update 3.50. That sounds quite normal, but what they're going to do when this update actually comes out, it's going to support remote playthrough PC, so you'll be able to play PlayStation games on your PS4 through your PC. So that's kind of nice. I kind of wanted to mention that before we headed on to the real news articles, and I'm going to take the first real one because else the balance is all off. Capcom is
Alright.
looking into adding an arcade mode into Street Fighter V. Now, I've already said this before we started the show. Is the reason I wanted to take this is the fact that I'm quite mad at this about this. Actually, I normally love Capcom, but the way they're handling Street Fighter V is just atrocious. The game was released and it wasn't even half done. There's no arcade mode in this game that traditionally has one. How is a fighting game without an arcade mode, without someone casual to pick it up? That kind of thing makes me mad, and I just wanted to put this article in there and just put it out there that Capcom, fucking get your shit together and release real games.
Yeah, you heard us.
Yeah, you heard us. Professional opinion right here.
Yep.
Exactly.
We might not sound like it, but we carry no weight at all in the gaming world, so don't feel threatened or anything. But okay, head on to the next one. This one is for Julie, and it's going to be BioShock the Collection gets rated from multiple platforms.
Indeed, it does. It's coming as a collection. It's going to contain all 3 games, BioShock, BioShock 2, and BioShock Infinite. And it's going to come to PC, PS3, PS4, Xbox 360, and the Xbox One. Now, they haven't given, a lot of details. There's no mention of a release date or a price yet, but it's definitely on its way. And
all we can say for certain.
Hoping, and I'm hoping as well that, they'll include like the DLCs and stuff like that as well.
They probably will. It's like a collection, so they will. But all we can say for sure at this point is that it's going to be made because it's already made because it's rated. And being rated means it's due for release very soon. So this might be like a cool little surprise in the middle of the dry season. Well, dry season. A lot of good games coming out. The next news story is the Fallout 4 releases mod support, and I'm not exactly sure which one of us was going to take this, but go ahead, whoever it was.
That would be me. So Bethesda announced on Twitter that Fallout 4's 1.4 update is now live and public on Steam. When they have more info on the console update, they will share info. So there's nothing new yet on the survival mode yet, but the patch sounds interesting, and the mod support is definitely a good thing. So that was that.
All right. By the way, before I continue on, of course, there's this thing about the DICE Video Game Awards, but I didn't have enough time to cover that. Plus, we've been going on for so long. We might just do it at the next episode. So if you don't hear anything about that, that's why. The next news story is going to be Sony files patent for PlayStation Glove controller, and this one is going to JJ.
All right, so all of you, I think today has been a bit of a nostalgia thing for us, so have any of you guys ever been familiar with the Power Glove series?
Oh yeah.
They've already had a trademark made in 2014 that's already out, and it's going to be picked up by that is already done by Sony, which is going to be cool because it's going to be like contact sensors. So when you're playing interactive games with virtual reality, you'll be able to touch and feel and pick up objects, and they have flex sensors and stuff like that. So who knows, man? In the next iteration of the VR programs, we might be playing on a virtual reality, and I'll be very, very ecstatic with that.
This is just one step closer to that Sword Art Online dystopia where we're talking about. I can't shake the feeling that this is going to happen.
And they're going to be releasing all this information around March. So at the Game Developers Conference, stay tuned to that. Hopefully they might be, you might get a Twitch stream of it. Maybe they might tweet it out and give you guys some more feedback or information about it. So stay tuned.
Indeed.
All right. Well, that is the second to the last game news story we have. And by the way, that message in chat was sent from Steve, but I was the one who sent it. Just so you know, don't get mad at him.
Okay.
The last news story we have, and arguably the biggest, Now, of course, we know all about the Pokemon 20 thing. It's been 20 years, and of course, they couldn't they couldn't do this entire thing without announcing the fact that they will be releasing their next Pokemon game in the holiday season of 2016. It's going to be Pokemon Sun and Moon. Now, there's been a lot of speculation about this. Yeah, I know. Everybody's like, yes, new generation. And there's a lot of speculation about this. And so far, it seems like from the clues we've gotten that it's going to be on some kind of island. For instance, there was like a truck that had a rainbow license plate, and that is taken directly from Hawaii.
Okay.
And Hawaii being a surfing spot, sun and moon influencing the tides. I think it's going to have something to do with that. But what's going to happen is the fact that they're gonna so far kind of lost my train of thought there, but so far we've already seen the first new Pokemon. Like we've seen a little Mangiarna, I think is its name. Going to be one of the first new Pokemon, and we have we saw a sketch of one of the Pokemon that was still in production in the trailer they released. Kind of a teaser trailer celebrating 20 years of Pokemon. Cool trailer, by the way. And the fact that
too.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool. Like it made me feel nostalgic and made me feel like, holy shit, I'm a part of this. But there's this we saw the first Pokemon, it kind of resembles a woodpecker, so it's gonna be this generation's Pidgey, basically. But that's really all we have. The news didn't give us much and just teased the game. Apart from that, we don't really have any more news stories. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut this episode short because we've been going on for way too long. Well, we're cutting it short for now.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hope you join us next week. My name is Dennis Onderdijk, and you can follow me on Twitter under @dvoice_. You can follow me on Twitch at just dvoice. You can add me on PSN under dvoice hacks. Do make sure that you let me know that you are adding me from the podcast, because I don't accept random ads. And, you guys do your plugs.
Yeah. You can find me on Twitter @SyriaXO and on Steam. My ID is TheSyria. Oh, and if you want to trade Pokemons with me and stuff, you should give me a message on Twitter, because I'm here. Take it away.
All right. Well, you can follow me on Twitter @OIWMateFTF with 2 underscores. You can find me.
You spelled your own Twitter handle wrong.
Oh, right. Yeah. WTF 2 underscores. You can find me on Twitch as Autopsy Gremlin, and you can find me on Steam with the same ID. Do let me know that you add me from the podcast, otherwise you might get blocked.
All right, Johnny.
All right, cool. Me on Twitter @TheDangsPro, and on every other social media, The Dangs Productions.
All right. Well, that was all from us for this week. We do hope to see you next week. And don't forget to write in at podcast@getgaming.net if you have any questions or if you want to join the discussion. If you have any topics you would like us to discuss, do let us know there.
And hate mail. We'll take everything we can get at this point.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gotta start somewhere, right? Like if you want to share your perverted sexual fantasies about what you would do to Jeffrey, then by all means we will read them out loud on the podcast.
We approve of fan fiction. It's fine.
I'm cool with it.
Though I think for fan fiction we would actually have to have fans first. I guess that
that would probably be like one of the stepping stones. Small thing.
Yeah. We got to start somewhere. Well, anyway, guys, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
See you later.
Till next time.